Hey, it's the light side. We're gonna do our motor throughs. Um, it's I think this out of these, the shows that we have the highest likelihood of finishing, just from what I've heard about them, would be Yojo Senki, uh, Tsuki ga Kirei, and Tsurezure Children. This one isn't that long, but we're gonna try to do the other ones first that we're less likely to finish.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with Urara Meiro Cho.
All right, let's do it.
We made it like 9 minutes into Urara Meiro Cho.
Felt like we were watching a lot more than just 9 minutes.
It's, I guess, like a Yuri fan service show about like animal people in like a weird labyrinthine town trying to do something. We didn't really make it to the point where they explained the plot.
No, they were given like letters, and they're all supposed to be apprentices to this one
They're all
weird
uraras.
cat. Yeah, they're all uraras.
We didn't get to where they explained what uraras are.
Yeah, they're like spiritual gatekeepers.
Well, I wasn't
They
paying
have,
attention by the time we got
well,
to the explanation.
It wasn't very clear what they actually do. But they do some kind of spiritual voodoo shit.
The long and short of it is we didn't care. I just didn't like the atmosphere of this show.
Me neither.
I feel like this was, because this is a show I know that there was definitely like a small crowd who really liked this show, and I was kind of under the impression it was going to be my niche, but it's not. Just because it's Yuri and full of cute girls doesn't... the energy of it was strange. It's like a little too hyperactive and dumb for my tastes,
Yeah.
I think. And
I don't
also,
even think
like,
the girls were that cute in it.
I also really hated the audio. It was like weirdly overcompressed.
Yeah. Do you think that was just like where we were watching it? Or...
No, I think that was the way it sounds.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. But it definitely sounded... Because it wasn't like it sounded... It didn't sound like it was bad audio quality. It sounded like bad recording quality. Or just overcompressed audio. But, yeah, I don't know. It sounded weird. And... yeah. We just ain't into it.
Nah.
Let's pick another one. All right, another night, another show. What do we do?
What do we do? Let's watch Onihei.
Onihei? All right.
Yes.
I've heard good things about this show, but only a few. I think only 10 people watched it.
Okay.
But we'll check it out. All right, we watched an episode and a half of Onihei. The first episode was pretty all right. But in the second episode, we just didn't give a single fuck.
Yeah, the pacing was like too slow for what it was.
And too just weird. This show's awkward as fuck, man. This show feels really strange.
Yeah, it has like really amazingly beautiful backgrounds, but the people are really goofy looking, and then there's just like a lot of CG like pedestrians.
Everything about it's like just there's just like a lot of uncleanness.
Yeah.
And I think this is probably the product of the fact that it was Masao Maruyama just formed this new studio, probably working with no budget.
Yeah, that's kind
and,
of what I got.
Like, it's just weird what stuff they emphasize and what stuff they don't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that there's some moments that look good and some that look terrible and everything in between. And some moments that, like, are interesting but just weird and bad.
Yeah.
Like I think of towards the end of episode 1 when the bad guy runs out into the fog, and like it just looked like there's like a clear fog outside, but there's none drawn on him. He's like a totally normal anime color scheme running against a foggy background, and it's like they needed to put a fog filter over him for that to not look weird. Just all kinds of like little weird details like that in like nearly every shot.
Yeah.
And it amplifies even more in episode 2 to the point that we were like, what the fuck?
I don't know why this had to be an anime. I felt like this could just be a TV drama. Like,
yeah.
Like there was nothing about it being animated, I think, that made it a better
If anything,
story.
it takes away from it.
Yeah, because you can get away with real people, you know. It can only be so bad.
And it's just a Chanbara story set in like, you know, a generic Edo
Yeah, it's
setting.
very generic. The first episode, like, the story was interesting, but it wasn't anything new.
No.
Yeah,
if you've seen a lot of samurai stuff, this is some
Yeah.
samurai stuff. But it's on the more violent and fun side of samurai
Yeah.
shit. So I think that's why we were into it. Like, the first scene is a guy getting fucking brutally tortured. And
Nail through the foot.
yeah, I think that's what
Hot
caught our
wax
attention.
on top of the nail. That's
Yeah.
some A-class torture.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. And then I was really... What was magnetic to me about it was we get the scene of this dude's getting tortured by this other guy who's like the chief of this thief catching division or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy is like torturing the shit out of him, but then like a few days later comes to his prison cell and like offers him a sake and is like trying to be like bros with him, you know. And I was like, what an interesting character here.
Yeah.
To go from torturing a guy to like just being like, yeah, but I know what your deal is, you know. Like I respect the hustle, my dude. Here, have a drink, you know. And over the course of the episode, he sort of recruits this thief guy to be on his team. And that was kind of the most interesting aspect of it, was like this thief who has like a very strong code of conduct. And when the person who he thinks is his like the guy who taught him his code of conduct is now committing heinous crimes
that completely go against his like code of ethics.
Exactly.
His thief's code.
And so he thinks it's an imposter and goes to put a stop to it, but of course it's not actually an imposter. It's just that the guy's become an old fat fuck. And so he stops him, and then the guy's like, "Why don't you come join my team and help be a spy for us?" And like the dynamic between those two characters was what had me the most excited.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and I was hoping that the second episode would like kind of go forward with that story, and I'm sure it will, but episode 2 just jumped to like a really generic like
totally other story.
Yeah.
Because now we're just talking more about like, so the chief of police guy or whatever is like the real main character of the show. And I guess it's like just episodic stories about him and people he knows or something.
Mm-hmm.
But like episode 2 is about a guy who was his friend who he trained with, who like they grew up together. I guess they both liked the same girl who the main guy ended up marrying. So it's just like kind of this like love triangle story.
Yeah, but like it's not interesting, and I didn't care about it at all. Like the
and what happened to
boring.
the most interesting thing about the show is the dynamic of the two characters. And where's the other guy? Where's the cool guy? Who was basically the main character of episode 1. Like, it was more focused on the thief guy. So this is weird.
Yeah.
And, yeah, it's just like, if the show is gonna be a different story every episode, then, like, we run the risk of this, and it's not worth it if we run the risk of this. 'Cause, again, like, it's just so janky and weird. The pacing is weird, the script is weird, the way it jumps through different periods of time. Like, in this episode, it keeps jumping back and forth between present and past, but not, like, to seemingly show the most important events or, like with any real rhyme or reason. It just feels strange.
Yeah.
And the animation's so fucking weird.
The fighting, like, the choreography of sword fighting is awkward and not interesting to watch at all.
Yeah, there was a big sword fight in episode 1 that was like each individual cut was all right, but then like the way they all segue into each other
it was just
weird.
really awkward. And
I don't know. It's you know, if you really like Shanbata stuff, this might be for you.
Yeah.
Like I could see my cousin Boyd liking this show because he just likes good samurai stuff. And, like, as a samurai thing, this is pretty all right. You know, you could do a lot worse with samurai shit. At least it's like violent and brutal and real, you know, gritty. Though it's not like over dark. It's not like sadistic, you know. But I don't know. Episode 2 is fucking boring.
Yeah.
So that's it for Oni. Hey, let's see what we're gonna do. All right, we're 0 for 2. What next, baby?
We should watch something we think we may watch.
We think we may watch?
Yeah.
Well, we'll probably finish Zure Children, and I hear Yojo Senki's supposed to be good.
Let's watch Yojo Senki.
Let's go with Yojo Senki then. Okay, we
just watched Tanya the Evil.
We watched like 2 half episodes of the saga. Oh boy, Yojo Senki, also known in English as The Saga of Tanya the Evil.
I want to talk to the person who decided to just translate the title as that.
Yeah, why?
Why?
Yojo Senki means little girl war or like battlefield.
Yeah, Little Girl Battlefield would be a cooler name that like appeals to like
Describes the appeal of the series, which is that it's a cute little girl doing tactical battle shit. But no, it's the Saga of Tanya the Evil, which sounds stupid and nobody would want to watch that. But anyways,
I don't know who it's appealing to. Like, who would watch the show would prefer to see that title.
Yeah.
Or who would be interested by that title. Like, I'm upset.
As for the show...
I want to write a strongly worded letter.
As for the show itself...
Is this Funimation? I'm going to write a letter to them.
I think it might be Funimation.
No, because it's on Crunchyroll. It
Crunchyroll and Funimation are now the same company.
Yeah, but no, when it was airing, it came out on Crunchyroll, so I don't think Funimation has the rights to it. But it did receive an English
But, I mean, Funimation now just releases their stuff on Crunchyroll.
Yeah, I don't remember when that happened.
Like one...
I don't know if it was, like, before or after.
They're like, one. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
This show is ugly as sin and boring as fuck. That's my tagline.
Yeah.
Ugly as sin, boring as fuck.
It opens on CG soldiers. Anything that opens on CG soldiers is trash.
This was a... I mean, look. I already felt this disappointment months ago, but I never read the Yojo Senki light novels, but the fucking artwork for them is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's, like, perfectly up my alley. Like, I love, first of all, blonde lollies. Second of all, like, hyper detailed...
Yeah, this should be your favorite show.
Yeah, hyper detailed, edgy
favorite
artwork.
Show ever.
The way that the eyes are drawn on the light novels are like these crazy, insanely detailed eyes.
The art is fucking eye-catching and unique and gorgeous.
Oh, it's so cool. I was so hyped for it, even like long before I ever heard anything about like what it actually was. Just seeing the covers of the light novels, I was like, "Oh fuck, I want this," you know. And then I was really disappointed when I found out it was actually like a Japanese salaryman who turned into a little girl. I was like, why? Why did that have to be the case? Why not just make a story about a little girl who's a tactical genius?
Well, it's all about proving God wrong, you know.
Well, we'll get into that, I guess. I don't know what the fuck that's about. Like, there's a lot going on in this story, and none of it interests me. And, like, the artwork of the show is dog shit. Like, the show looks terrible. Not just because Tanya herself looks terrible, which is true already. I mean, sometimes it's a little endearing, I guess, like the way her goofy face looks, but like...
I like her creepy smile.
Everyone looks different from each other.
Yeah, like when the mage girl shows up for the first time, she looks like a different race of characters. Like you're playing an MMO, and you like pick like a gnome character. And it's really jarring, because, like, everybody else just look like these generic CG soldiers with, like, weird, like, realistic, hyper-realistic facial features, and then you just throw in, like, these girls with, like, really weird, dopey eyes, and they took a lot of liberties with character design, and I don't think
Which, in fairness, it can work sometimes, but here, it was just fucking weird.
I mean, they definitely have stylized and unique characters, but I don't think anybody would say these are anybody's favorite character designs, because they look wrong.
And everything looks wrong. The animation looks bad. The art design looks bad. The color palette looks bad. The whole scene...
I don't like the color palette at
when
all.
the guy was, like, when he was at work in episode 2. So we watched, like, half of episode 1, and I got really bored. And I was like, isn't this one of those shows where everybody says start with episode 2?
Yeah, because episode 2 is where the
actual
story
plot
starts.
Begins. So we started episode 2, and it was exactly the same. As is always the case, every time anybody says this, it's like, yeah, but the problem with the show isn't just that the story is not there yet. The problem is that it's really badly paced, and that it lingers on panning shots for a really long time, and really exhausts my patience, and that the dialogue is obnoxious, because it's all either, like, exposition about shit I don't care about, or this main character who's immediately totally unlikable. Like, his thing is that he's just always super fucking logical, man. He's like the most logical dude. And it's like, oh, God, I don't want to fucking suffer this guy, you know?
The most interesting thing to me was there was a poster for Overlord, and I kept thinking about, like, oh, there has to be some connection between this and that.
Yeah.
I wasn't interested at all in, like, the story. Granted, I have seen the first 2 episodes of this when it was airing.
Right. The scene where the main character, he gets pushed out in front of a train, and he's frozen in midair, and God talks to him through the voices of a bunch of people.
And they put this really stupid special effect over everything that you're supposed to like be interested in, look at for 10 seconds, but it just looks like dog shit.
Yeah, 10 seconds, more like fucking 5 minutes.
It was a really long time where we had to like, it was just like one shot with like this weird bubble filter over it that made it look like you were looking at it through 3D glasses, and it was just like a really cheap effect that they were shoving in our faces for too long for me to like to be happy.
So the dialogue he has with God, like God is trying to convince him that it is God, and therefore like he needs to have faith, and he's like, well, there's no reason to believe that you are God. You're just a being with higher powers than what I have, but like that doesn't mean you are the all-knowing creator of the universe. Which is a totally reasonable argument, and there's no way that God's going to be able to disprove that. Like, no matter how much stuff he does to show his power over the main character, there's no reason that would ever mean he is a supreme being. He just has more, he's just on another plane from him, you know? So, like...
I mean, the fact that he has the ability to put him in a specific reincarnation kind of, in my mind, is... proof enough that he is some kind of deity.
Well, sure, he's a deity, but like, are we talking like Greek God, or are we talking like absolute God? Like, the Christian God is the Alpha and Omega. Everything springs from him. There is no higher than him.
I think you have to have a lot of cosmic power if you can choose who somebody is reincarnated into.
Sure, if we're talking power levels.
That is enough to worship.
Like
if
it's enough to worship.
There is a God. They would be in a higher strata of God tier if they can choose who a reincarnation is going to be.
I think the main character's contention is that how does this thing saying it's God not know that there is an even greater God than it? You know, like, let's say there's a God who created our universe, but then that God is in a universe that was created by another God.
But if you were smart, you would just fucking suck up to whoever has the power to put you in the situation.
He should just suck up to
morals and your actual beliefs fucking don't matter. This guy has the ability to put you in another fucking life form. Why would you piss it off?
Yeah, just be like,
you're gonna regret
God.
it. He obviously had frozen time at this moment.
Right.
You should be like, oh, cool, you fucking froze time.
I mean, I guess that's probably the point, is that this guy's a conceited asshole.
But I mean, if it's a God, they can read your thoughts too. So if you're lying, anyways.
Fair. I mean, it's not that he's lying. It's that he's dumb.
I mean,
like he thinks being hyper logical all the time is the right way to be.
I don't think you can suck up to a God.
You know?
Now that I think about it, because like your
then
thoughts
they'll
in your
know,
head. That's what's actually being communicated. It's not like words that you are choosing to say. It's like your thought processes. So can you really deceive a God?
I don't know. Is it a God though? Can it read his thoughts?
It can obviously read his thoughts if it can choose who he's going to reincarnate into.
Maybe.
I feel like that's a lesser power.
I mean, there's no logic to any of these powers. You're just making this up. Like,
this is a lot more interesting to talk about than this shit, though.
There's one line I did like where he says, overwork is a product of a bad business model.
A flawed business model.
And therefore you've misread the needs of the consumers.
That's not true, though. The best business model is slavery.
Well, sure.
Overwork is slavery.
But he says...
But you don't have to pay your employees.
It was a great line because it reflects the problems with the anime industry.
Yes.
That the reason they have to overwork people is because they don't understand the needs of the consumers well enough to make as much money as they should.
This dialogue was intended to be commentary on the anime industry?
I'm not sure, because I was kind of lapsing in and out of attention of what they were actually... I don't know what he meant when he brought up that line. Like, what was he saying about God?
You know...
Who was being overworked? I
think it's more of a commentary on Japan.
Yeah, could be.
The Japanese economy in general. I don't think that it was specifically pointed at the anime industry.
That conversation went in so many different directions, and I so didn't care that I was just like... I was just blank, because it's...
I think even if you were trying to, like, make sense of it, it wouldn't make sense.
Here's something I have a huge problem with when it comes to light novels, is when the main character just keeps explaining things about the world all the time, and he's just some guy. Like, okay, the guy who wrote this book, am I to believe that he has some, like, incredibly deep wisdom and understands the fundamentals of society,
obviously
like, in a better way than
because
most?
He doesn't think it's right to suck up to God.
Right.
Like,
well, I don't know if the novelist says that.
Just
I'm just saying that, like, when this dude keeps going on all these rants, like, about how, oh, this is how society is, and, like, this is what, like, oh, I understand psychology and how people act, and I'm like, I'm not really convinced that the author knows that stuff well enough to create a story that actually reflects reality.
Yeah. And I think that you can get away with that a lot more in the form of a light novel, but once it's an adaptation, like, you gotta cut that shit.
No, it's even worse in the light novel.
I've never read any light novels.
Holy shit. Like, most of the time, the anime brings out the good elements, and then you read the book and you're like, oh, this is just a guy who doesn't know how to write.
I don't speak Japanese, so I feel like there's no way for me to fully enjoy a light novel, because there's always going to be things that are lost in translation, and with the anime, at least you have, like, visuals that you can appreciate from any culture. But
it's kind of like there's this book, Rising of the Shield Hero, which is about a guy who gets sent to a fantasy world, and he has to be the hero of the shield, and, like, everyone in this world fucks him over. And I read the manga and I really liked it because it's a compelling story. But when you read the light novel, it's like this super edgy garbage where he's just swearing constantly and, like, always been, oh, fuck the people, like, I saw them giving me dirty looks and I was like, fuck that skank whore, and it's like, it's really obnoxious to read, and it's like, that's how I feel like this would be, is it would be just this constant narration about, like, oh, you know, I apply perfect logic to everything in the world around me, and the world is like this, and that's why I apply this logic to it. And, like, even if the story is about proving him wrong, even if it's about saying, oh, you were wrong about your logic, like, does the story have an understanding of what the world is actually like? Like, can I trust this author to criticize this character correctly? Does he even know what the fuck he's talking about, you know?
What are we even talking about?
I don't know, but that's what bothers me about stories like this, where you've got the guy, and I'm just like, I don't want to listen to this dude. Like, he was just saying this stuff about where I stopped the video. He's giving his backstory of after he was resurrected as a little girl, and he lives his whole life. He grows up that way, which seems to be one of the sub-tropes now of the isekai. It's not just a guy gets into another world, but reincarnated in another world. We got the slime one. We've got the one where the guy was a mech pilot in another world that came out this year. So that's the new trend. But he's going through his whole history, and he's talking about how he has to get drafted into the military, and then he's all, like, going on about how, like, oh, you know, war is like a sunk cost or whatever, like, it's just people killing and dying. It doesn't have like ultimately social benefit. Like, just the way he phrased it, I'm like,
watch the whole entire thing. The message is war is good.
Maybe it is, but is that true? Like, am I gonna come away from the show going, oh wow, show, you're right, I am convinced that war is good.
You're not gonna come away smarter from watching the show.
Yeah.
You're not gonna get any kind of, like, big world life lesson from fucking the saga of Tanya the Evil.
All I know is the main character pissed me off. The artwork is fucking bad.
The artwork is really bad.
And I got bored really quick.
I was really hoping Studio Nut could make me nut.
Alright, next show. What now?
Let's watch, Sakurada.
Sakurada Reset, I think is what that is.
Yeah, let's watch that shit.
Alright, I don't know what the fuck it is, but apparently you thought it looked good enough to put on this list. So.
Why? I wish we recorded our reasoning for this.
I do too. Okay, baby. First of all, explain to me how Sakurada Reset ended up on our light side list.
So, it's by David's production, you know, JoJo Boys.
Yeah.
And also, I've heard from a couple places and things that it's a good show, but nobody watched it. But I mean, if it was a good show by David's Productions, people would have been talking about it. That should have been our, we should have known.
The impression I got from the Mal reviews we looked at was that, that people who finished the show saw it as like, oh, it's good. It's got a good plot and characters.
They want to say that because they wasted so much time doing it and nobody else has seen it.
I think it's that nobody else would watch it. Like, nobody else is going to watch enough of it to complain about it. Like, I would think the average person would think the show is boring as sin.
I thought the show was going to be, like, generic and average, but it's worse than that. It's far worse than that.
It's just boring and ugly.
The characters didn't blink. They didn't even animate blinking. I counted how many times characters blinked.
There was
3 blinks in the 5 minutes we watched.
Was that episode like ultra long or something? It says we have 20 minutes left, but we definitely watched more than 3 minutes. We were in there for what felt like a while. Yeah.
It reset.
It's
It reset on us.
I just I immediately didn't care because like the first shot is like a generic looking high school kid opening a shoe locker at school. Like that's the opening shot, and I was just like, I feel like I've already seen everything I need to see.
The scenery had no personality. Like the school there had no personality.
The backgrounds are hideous.
Yeah.
The background art is fucking hideous, and I know I just came off of watching every Makoto Shinkai film, but like. I'm looking at it right now, and good lord, the background art is
the
garbage.
cars are really bad. They're really ugly CG cars that you would expect to see in like a 2002 anime.
It's so ugly and just boring and generic. Yeah. The character designs are generic.
They're really boring. They're like too simple.
Yeah, and just the scene, the like way that scenes play out is weird.
Yeah.
Like first of all, sometimes the dialogue's confusing. Like characters say stuff that doesn't seem to be like on topic.
Yeah.
There's one part where the main character just like said his name in the middle of like another sentence. Like when they were playing basketball there, like it showed it like I don't know if he was narrating, but he says my name is Kei Arai.
Yeah, it was really weird.
Yeah.
And also, like, they just jumped to the scene where they're playing basketball, and he's like, oh, so there's a weird girl in your class.
Yeah,
which had
that's
nothing
how the
to
conversation
do with,
starts.
Like, you'd think they'd talk about this letter this guy got. No, they just talk about the weird girl that had, like, there was no reason to bring her up
Well, I thought he was bringing it up to the other guy because she's the one who gave him the letter. And he was saying, oh, wasn't there a weird girl in your class?
No, it was the other girl. It was the class rep with the short hair that he wanted to meet, who the letter was from. But he ended up meeting the long-haired weird girl instead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even, like,
yeah,
I was having a real hard time figuring out who was who. Like, who was being described was
well, the long-haired girl is
face.
the autistic girl who's the weird girl they just randomly brought up. The girl who gave him the letter was the class rep who he has a crush on.
Okay.
And he was hoping to meet because he wants to date her.
But for some reason, she told the other girl to go in her stead.
Yes.
And then the other girl, who recognized that the situation had not gone right, resets time. Because she has a power to reset time by 3 days, or something like that.
You learned 3 days by watching that?
It said that on the Mal description.
I was too busy trying to make sense of the 10 out of 10 score.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Whatever. It's boring and like fucking ugly.
Shit.
Like that's all you really need to know. Like the anime should have at least, at the bare minimum, should not make my eyes sear out of my skull.
They should blink.
And it should not put me to sleep. Those are the only two things I ask. Don't sear my eyes out of my skull. Don't put me to sleep. That's the baseline.
You're gonna have characters playing basketball. Don't just have them standing with the basketball, standing still, and then go, my name is Ken.
K.
I like autistic girls. And then have him blink once.
Alright, let's find another show to watch.
Let's watch fucking One Room.
Alright, let's watch One Room.
I know I'm gonna be disappointed.
I don't even know what it is. I have no idea.
I think it's gay.
Is it a gay?
It might be gay.
Let's get gay!
It's probably not gay.
One Room. It's one of those shows where it's like all in first person. Mm-hmm. It's basically just about perving on a high school girl. Like, the main character...
Well, we only saw one arc. We assume there's 3 arcs.
Oh, is there?
We have to watch the rest, because this might not even be best girl.
I don't think I care enough.
Oh my god, there was one that was kind of cute.
It's a show...
I mean, she's pretty cute. The first girl is pretty top tier, but there's one that could be cuter.
It's a show about, just staring at a cute girl.
No, it's a show about working hard and getting cute girls.
Yeah, well, at the beginning, the opening monologue is like, you've been working so hard, you know, just lay back.
Bitch, where are my cute girls?
Yeah.
I work hard.
You were excited by that.
Yes.
You were like, yeah,
yes.
I deserve cute... What was the exact quote you said?
I think I said, what did I say?
You said, like, I work hard, I deserve cute bitches.
Yes,
or something like that.
Something along the lines of, I work hard, I deserve me some cute bitches.
Yeah.
And this show makes me feel like I'm getting those cute bitches.
I had the feeling watching this that this is a show meant for guys who don't have a girlfriend.
Well, no, duh.
To pretend you have a girlfriend.
Yeah.
And for me...
you can date around, too. There's 3 choices.
Yeah, and for me, watching it with my girlfriend was just kind of like doubling down in a way.
Hell yeah.
It was just like, oh, I'm like relaxing with this girl and I'm relaxing with this girl. I don't know. It's not really the type of show I would have watched even if I didn't have a girlfriend. I'd just get fucking bored. This falls into the realm for me of I'd rather watch porn because like...
Oh, no, dude, this is wish fulfillment. This is great.
I don't know.
This is like playing shitty fucking dating sims. I
don't play dating sims.
I love dating sims. I love shit like
because
this.
For me, the
main girl is really cute.
I guess I totally understand the appeal of this for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, who likes the idea of just, like, having a sexually attractive girl around, but not necessarily that you're fucking them. You just want to have that cute experience.
Yeah. I like shows like this because I can do research.
For me, I'm just like, when did they start fucking?
They don't.
You know?
They don't have
like,
to fuck.
That's always my feeling is like, oh, I'm checking her out. Okay, when do I fuck her? You know?
I mean, I really wanted to see the first girl naked. Like, I was really hoping.
We did see her kind of naked. She got into
really.
a tub.
I wanted to see this girl getting, like, railed.
Exactly.
She's
like,
really cute.
You can find shows exactly like this that do go into fucking. So for me, when I watch a show like this, I'm just like, all right, she's cute. That's nice. Like, she's got good.
No, this show is perfect. It's your
outfits.
It's your 4 minutes of girlfriend time a week.
If we actually finished this show, what do you think you would have scored it?
Probably like a 3.
Okay. Thank you. Let's watch the next show.
I don't know if we can do another.
Are any of these?
We're gonna watch
good?
more than 2 seconds of probably all of these.
You think? I don't even know what Renai Boken is.
Isn't that the cuties?
What cuties?
The cuties.
I don't know. I know what.
Wasn't that like the thumbnail in one of your latest videos?
No. Why would it be? I haven't seen it.
No. This you said that we would love this show. You put this on the list because you wanted to watch this.
No. That's Sure Children.
No. This one was on the list because the first time we went over our list, you said that the show had really cute characters. Everyone said it was really cute, and that you wanted to watch.
I've literally never heard of Renai.
Yes, look at the art.
Suki ga Kirei is supposed to be really good.
You put this on the list.
All right, hold on. Let's go look it up. Okay, so
I was completely
she was
wrong.
thinking of Suki ga Kirei is the one that everyone said it's good.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, that's the one that is supposed to be like a really great show, like a great rom-com show. And then Sure Children was the one that I watched an episode of.
No, I think I'm thinking about something
like
on the long plays. I think I'm thinking about something else.
What could it be? Something with cuties?
Yes, it has cute characters.
New game?
No.
Mahojin Guru Guru?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that's what I was thinking of. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
All right, so what do we watch out of these
Okay,
ones?
let's watch Renai Boken because I don't think we'll watch most of it.
Okay.
Because it's like the Death Note with a fucking...
I don't know anything about it, so...
I saw the first episode.
Let's check it out. Renai Bokun. I like the idea that they just made a Death Note parody. It's just a comedy show that's making fun of Death Note by having a kiss note.
Which is cool, but
I like the directness of just saying let's just rip off the most popular manga ever and just do it, and that's good.
That's a cool concept.
Gintama did a 1-episode Death Note parody that was the funniest thing in the world.
Which is all you need.
And is all you need. This show immediately feels like, first of all, there's no way this is gonna stay funny for 12 episodes.
I know. I don't know how it could possibly be entertaining for more than 20 minutes.
Yeah, and like also it's a moving manga. Like there's no reason this had to be anime.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm watching a manga, and it feels like it would be funnier as a manga. So yeah, I just don't care enough about it.
This didn't need to be an anime. Why not just make less shit anime and make one good one?
Let's watch a show that we'll probably watch all of next.
You think so?
Yeah.
Let's
just watch Sure Children, because I'm pretty sure we'll watch all of it. The first episode was really, really good. They're only 12-minute episodes. It seems doable. Maybe. We'll find out.
Maybe.
Oh my god, we did it! We watched the whole show! We watched all of Sure Children. It was pretty good.
It was.
I liked it. I would say this is probably my 3rd favorite show of the year so far.
It's the 3rd show that I think I've finished.
Yeah. Wait, let me guess.
Wait, I finished Dragon Maid, so
Dragon
it's the
Maid?
4th show.
What's your other?
We watched ID Zero.
Oh,
we
yeah.
watched Princess Principal.
Yeah, ID
And then
Zero.
we watched some shorts too.
Yeah, Nyanko Days and Piace.
That's true.
This is like the third show that I really liked that we've finished this year.
Yeah.
The same 3 shows for both of us. Dragon Maid, Pre this show. I would give this a strong 7 to a light 8. You know?
Yeah.
But I'm getting ahead of myself. So Sure Children is a romantic comedy show that does both really well. What were you going to say?
I was going to say it's kind of like a parody, but not really.
Yeah, at first it seems like it's more of a parody of like the misunderstandings and stuff that go on in
a lot of the setups and stuff
rom-coms.
seemed like they were poking fun at traditional setups.
Yeah. But then it also just follows through on like doing that.
Yeah.
You know, like it simultaneously is like, haha, rom-coms are like this, but then it like does the romance really well. The characters
romantic
are
aspect were like very realistic and heartfelt.
mad believable,
Yeah.
mad relatable. This was one of the most as we were saying at one point early in the show, like I felt like I could relate to every guy,
single couple.
yeah, and you could relate to every girl, like is how we were seeing it at least. Did you feel that way through?
I
the
definitely
end?
did. I felt like a lot of the characters like portrayed a certain dimension of like who I am.
Like I could
like,
see a
who
little
somebody
me
is
in
love.
all of them.
Yeah.
You know? Especially because obviously we are a couple and we've been in the lovey-dovey mood. You know, so like we're watching this show that's like about a bunch of couples, and like obviously they're all at much earlier parts in their relationship than we are, because none of them they're all like in the just starting to date.
Yeah, and they're
phase.
also in high school, so there's like a lot of drama.
They're in anime high school, so nobody's having sex, you know. But like, nonetheless, it's like either elements that I see in like just how I think about romance, or just like, oh, that would be me in a different if I was in high school and I had this relationship, you know. There's a lot of great characters. We've got in order the best. Here's the best, because there's like 20 fucking couples
there's
in this
so
show.
many couples. Some of them get very little screen time too.
Yeah, like going through the first one was the guy and the girl who constantly miscommunicate. Yeah. They're one of the less interesting couples, I would say.
Yeah, because the whole gimmick is there's just a misunderstanding.
Yeah, which the first time it happens... so I will say I think the show is stronger at the beginning than it is in the end.
Definitely, because it gets to a point where you can't keep track of, like...
everybody's relationships. And like, even then, I actually kind of don't like how it dwindles the amount of them that it focuses on. Like, as the show goes on, it definitely picks certain couples and follows them more. But it didn't necessarily pick my favorite couples.
No.
You know?
Like, the first couple that's introduced to us is the misunderstanding couple. Yeah. And I thought that was, like... I've seen this before. They're not the most interesting couple. They don't really have a great romantic chemistry.
I thought that the problem with them was that the first time they interacted... Like, it was making fun of the misunderstanding thing by having her accidentally confess while she's running away.
Yeah.
Like the joke is that she is trying to confess to him, and he is well aware that this is happening. And she's, like, they're having misunderstandings back and forth, but it's all based on him fully realizing what this is supposed to be, and getting annoyed that she's falling into the cliches. Mm-hmm. That she's falling for the trap of... not saying it right, and then she accidentally confesses when she says, "I'll confess my feelings tomorrow," you know, which is hilarious. Yeah. But then as the show goes on, that couple becomes... Their second interaction's also hilarious, where they're texting each other.
Oh, yeah.
That was fucking funny, where, like, she confesses by text at the same time that he sends a text that says... people who confess by text are lame, and that's like the funniest shit that happened.
After that point, though, there was no redeeming that.
Completely downhill. Yeah.
Yeah, like I wasn't rooting for them to get together in the end. I was kind of fed up with them both just not getting to the point.
I didn't get how he regressed in like the misunderstanding thing. You know, like it used to. Like in the beginning, what made it funny was that he could see what was happening, but then somehow he couldn't later. Like, they were both just misunderstanding each other. I don't know. That couple wasn't the most entertaining.
No, but it was supposed to be, like, one of the highlights, like, something we're supposed to care about and follow through the whole series. But, like, it definitely got stale for me. I don't think there was nothing that could have been as funny as the texting.
Yeah, well, that was. And I'll say this though, like even if we levy some complaints at the show, it's definitely a show with highs and lows, but the highs are really high.
Really good.
Like the funny moments in this show were fucking gut busters.
Yeah.
The moment when one character's mom walks in on them. By the way, just watch the show if you don't want to have these jokes spoiled for you. I know some people don't think it's, can't appreciate a joke as much if they've heard it said before. Just go watch it. It's a funny show.
It's 12-minute episodes.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's definitely worth watching.
It's 12 episodes that are 12 minutes apiece, so yeah, you can knock it out in a few hours. But there's a scene where this couple's about to have their first kiss, and then the mom walks in on them, and she's like, whoa, what's going on in here?
On top of her, she's in her underwear under the blankets.
And then, but the best part is that she comes back and says, "Are you using protection? Do you want to use mine?" And I was like, "Oh God, this is my mom. This is exactly what my mom would do in this situation."
So cute.
And that's like some of the couples were super relatable. So the second couple we get introduced to is the orange-haired girl and the green-haired guy. Orange-haired girl is she immediately makes it clear she's in love with him, but the thing is she's kind of a troll and she's constantly fucking around with him. And because he's too serious, he can't tell like if she really likes him or not, And like he seems to think she does. Like he kind of trusts her, but he's just like, I just want you to not fuck with me for a second. But she likes fucking with him too much,
She's great. That's exactly how I was in high school.
That character, when while we were watching, when she was first introduced, I was like, okay, this is you. This is the you character. Just like messing around with because I could see, that would have also been me. Like, a lot of the dense guys in the show is like how I was in high school. Like I wouldn't have you could have been completely in love with me and been like teasing me like that, and I would have felt the exact same way. Like I would have been really annoyed that you were teasing me like that, but also have a crush on you. So I wouldn't be able to tell like, what should I say or not, Yeah, those two were great. She's like the cutest and the most fun.
She's definitely one of the cutest girls, like.
And then there's that guy has a little sister who's like, I don't even think she's in love with him. She's
just very protective of her own.
Of her Oni-chan, and she's because there's one part where the orange-haired girl accuses her of being in love with him, and she says, "What bitch? I'm normal." I thought that was great.
Oh my God.
Couple number 3 is one of my favorites. Because, like, in that one, the orange-haired girl's great. Green-haired guy's mostly just there as, like, That's the thing with a lot of the couples, is that one of them is, like, the really fun character.
One of them is the reason that there's, like, a
narrative.
comedic element to it. Like, a reason that we care. Like, the green-haired guy doesn't really have anything to offer. He's just, he's just a gullible dude. He's pretty plain.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about him is his sister.
Right.
Who kind of is, like, an obstruction, and then just the girl is just a fun character.
Yeah.
But he's kind of forgettable.
But I would say one of the couples where I like both characters is a student council president guy.
Oh my God, yeah, they're great.
So there's this blonde girl she's a Yankee, she smokes outside the school, she's like a total punk, do whatever I want, but also like, she's got a virgin soul, if you will.
Yeah.
And council president has a rapist soul, and he's all like, he just basically manipulates her into falling in love with him, and like it's clear that he just kind of likes her, like he can dress it up in all these different ways to try and explain it, but he just kind of thinks she's hot and likes her personality and wants to go out with her, and he wants to go out with a girl. And she is just very easily swept up in the way he talks and presents himself, which is that he basically like tells her how she's feeling.
Yeah,
he's like,
it's pretty awesome.
He's very analytical, and he definitely reminded me of myself in like a bad way.
Yeah.
Like me at my worst, because like he uses all of his amazing logical powers for evil, like or for good. I don't think everyone's happy.
Yeah.
Like he's making her happy and stuff.
This girl is like insecure and is unhappy and is looking for something to like a reason to not just be, like, in the back of the class smoking cigarettes, like,
Yeah.
just being there. She's looking for, like, a reason to change.
Yeah, I guess the only reason I'm so hard on the guy is that I see he's the kind of guy who I feel like if you were, like, watching this as, like, a feminist or something, you'd be like, oh, this fucking guy. Because, like, he is very, like...
Yeah, he does kind of say things that, like, he is manipulating her, but...
Yeah.
I think anybody can see that girl needs that.
Yeah.
Like, she's on a bad path.
She's definitely into it, you know?
She's on, like, a bad path, and he kind of, like, saves her and corrects her in a way.
Yeah.
And, I mean... I can definitely relate to her because there was, like, a point in high school where I just didn't care and I was, like, the bad girl and people spread rumors about me and just kind of was like, well, fuck off if everybody else is going to be like this. And, you know.
Do you think a man could have come and rescued you? I bet that would have happened.
I bet if we... if we had been in high school together, you would have been, like...
Yeah, maybe. I feel like this is one of those situations where, like, when you look at this character, with these two's relationship... like in like an idealism light, it's like, oh, that guy is like manipulating that girl, but like no, like in real life this kind of stuff does happen. Yeah. Sometimes a girl
there's aspects of guy, like kind of an unhealthy like undercurrent in their relationship.
But that's what I love about it.
But it's realistic. Like that stuff does happen.
I like the unhealthiness of it and how much of a manipulative asshole he is.
People in general, like mental illnesses and stuff exist. Yeah. Like not every relationship is gonna be picture perfect and like innocent and sweet and
that's true.
I think it's kind of a cool take on
I guess it's funny to me because I can easily see myself doing that. Like you know me. You know that I will, like, logic my way into whatever I want. Like, I will sit there and, oh, baby, you know, if you quit your job and hang out with me all the time, like, this, and this benefits, and, like, oh, this is what, I know this is what you really want. Like, I know, like, I can tell what you want more than you can. You're lying to yourself. I know what the truth is. You know, like, that's this character. And also me. So I love him. He's my favorite guy. If you love him too.
I love him
too. What does that say about us?
He's the man we need.
He is the man we need. The fourth relationship is the girl who's... There's like an astronomy club.
Oh yeah, they only show this character like once. Because it's a girl who's in astronomy club and she only joined the club to be close to the club president who she's in love with. And they're the only two members of the club. And basically, he's, like, really gung-ho about astronomy, but she, like, is in love with him, and he knows it.
Yeah. And she's been trying to play it off as a joke all this time, but he's pretty much seen through the joke.
Do you think they hooked up at the end of that scene? Because I kind of got the feeling that, like, she was... When they introduced her again with the next generation, like, of kids coming into the class, she seemed like she was super experienced, and she's like,
She seemed way too happy to have not been still dating the guy.
I feel like they definitely fucked.
The way her attitude was like she was getting dick from an older guy.
Yeah.
Like, she was not feeling... Like, as a character who was as obsessed with him as she was, for him to have left and her to still feel that good, like, yeah, she probably is still with the guy.
I don't even know if they're still together, but I definitely think she got the dick.
Maybe.
Because she just seemed like she was, like, overly confident and kind of, like, more experienced than all the other characters.
Right. Well, and then you've got her underclassmen, which is a weird, like, aborted narrative.
Yeah. Was that in the second episode?
It was in, like, episode 2 or 3 where they introduced this...
Because I think episode 1 was kind of, like, the year before, and it was just kind of setting in motion a lot of the stories, and then episode 2 was, like, the incoming school year.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense.
Yeah.
Interesting way of putting it. But yeah, like, the new students come in, and, like, she gets a new astronomy club member who kind of falls for her, and then they introduce this other girl who's, like, his childhood friend... And she's got a thing for him. And that just kind of gets unresolved. Like, it just drops. Like, episode 4 or 5. Like, it just stops happening. It seems like it'd be a really interesting dynamic, too. Because, like, the club just exists because she's there. He likes her. And then she likes him. I liked Pink-Haired Girl a lot.
I did,
so
too.
I would have liked
she was a really fun character.
Continue learning about her.
I wish that she was in it longer.
They literally, after episode 5, just disappear. Yeah. That whole relationship disappears from the show.
I guess because, like, it sort of is resolved.
I just felt like the amount of stuff that we got from other couples, like, some of them we didn't need as much as we got.
Oh, yeah.
And so, for instance, there's the couple that is this really nice guy and this really shy, quiet girl, and they both like the nice guy's got feelings for her.
Are you talking about blue-haired girl?
No.
You're talking about pigtail girl?
I'm talking about pigtail girl.
Gloomy girl?
Gloomy
like,
girl.
That dynamic like kind of exists, like the really nice guy and then kind of like the shy girl. There's
that relationship I really liked at first. Because, like, at first it's introduced as, like, this guy is, like, doing all this nice stuff for this girl because he likes her. Mm-hmm. She doesn't get that it's because he likes her. She thinks he's just a nice guy and that nobody would ever like her. And, but it's very clear they're developing feelings for each other. Their first couple scenes are funny.
Yeah.
But then it just kind of drags out.
Her.
Yeah, because, like, every time she shows up, she's just like... Oh, I really, like, I don't know if I like that guy, or I don't know if he'd ever love me, but, like, and we're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we know what's going on.
The only interesting thing that she's doing after, like, the second time we see a scene with her is other characters from other stories are kind of, like, giving her advice, or, like, she's kind of interacting with other characters. She's, like, one of the few characters that is bringing the stories together.
Yeah.
And I think that's why they put so much focus on her, but she herself is kind of, like...
Kind of boring.
Really boring, and I don't... Like, I wish it was a different character. Yeah. Because I just don't care.
I think that was one of the better things about the later part of the show is that all the stories kind of start converging. Together. But yeah, her story was not that interesting. I mean, it would have been fine if it just didn't get brought up so much at the expense of other stories. They dragged it
on for so long, and there's just more interesting things I would have wanted to see.
Yeah.
Because, like... Yeah, she doesn't have any self-esteem and doesn't, like, realize that he likes her. Okay, we understand that. That can only be so funny.
We've got the couple where, as you mentioned, blue-haired girl and tall guy is dense.
Who also, like, I kind of get sick of.
Yeah, there's a little too much of them. The girl was extremely, like... Not relatable for me, but, like, extremely I've met girls exactly
Yeah, she's
like
a
her.
Very realistic, like,
yeah,
person.
She's... Her thing is that she's really shy and quiet, but she
wants to be, like...
Yeah.
Like, the needy girlfriend who,
like she thinks that she's not supposed to be that, because, like, that's not a good look, and it's not something she's, like, seems like more of a smart, quiet girl. Yeah. But she wants to be...
She's, like, that part of her has been repressed.
Yeah. And I've met girls who are literally that.
Me too.
And I think, so for me, I was like, oh my god, this character's too real. And then the guy is, like, just a stonewall dense, misunderstands everything.
They're a cute couple, and I'm glad that, like, they actually
got together.
My
favorite thing about them is that they end up being, like, a symbol for all the other couples.
Yeah, all the other couples, like, look up to them because they've gotten
because they progressed so fast, and they kissed after, like, 3 months, and the other couples are like, oh, fuck. Like,
I wouldn't want to be in that relationship. Like, that doesn't seem...
No, their relationship was fucking infuriating.
Yeah.
Like, they're a cute couple, and they can be fun to watch, but, like, I also got on my nerves, like...
Yeah.
Because how long is that sustainable? Like, how long before you fucking get sick of this idiot, you know?
I mean, I think that, like, because he's so dense about things, he needs a girl who basically will just tell him what she wants.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she kind of starts becoming that.
Yeah.
So maybe...
They definitely, like, fit together, but it's not, like, the most fun thing to watch.
I felt like, man, it's like one of those things where they have to kind of, you know, like, they have to kind of fit themselves, you know? Like, and it was like, I don't know if they can... I don't know how sustainable it is, you know, but maybe it is.
The
maybe
one thing I liked about this couple was I can distinguish who each character was.
Yeah. So this is a huge problem. This show, it looks fine. The thing about it is the facial expressions are great.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's got really great emotive facial expressions where they'll have, like, a big smile or a goofy dumb face or, like, a big cry face. The facial expressions are fantastic. The character designs, though... They all look the same.
There's a lot of characters who are just, like, the same, but have one different thing about them. It makes it really hard to tell who's who.
Probably the worst of all. There's, like, 2 guys with a little bit too similar of pink hair. And then there's the 2 guys with green hair who have the same hair.
They're the same.
Yeah.
They literally the same size, same hair. One just has derpy eyes.
Yeah, that's the only difference. And that's the only way you can tell them apart. And then his girlfriend or love interest, is the most indistinct character in the show.
Oh, yeah, she just has, like, the orange bob. There's so many orange-haired girls in the show.
Yeah.
There's the first girl we meet has orange hair, the pigtail girl has orange hair, and those are the 2 characters that get the most screen time.
Right.
So it's, like... there's also so many orange-haired guys, too.
Yeah.
Because there's the love interest of the pigtailed girl. There's blue-hair girl, whatever, the Stonewall guy.
Yeah.
Who else has orange hair? Somebody else has orange
Did
hair.
he have orange hair?
Yeah, he has, like, dark orange hair.
No.
I don't know. I feel like they're...
It got hard to tell people apart, is what we're getting at here.
The guy whose mom walked in on them making out, he had orange hair,
Yeah.
too. So,
brown.
I don't know. There's so many, like, wacky hair colors. I don't know why they decided to give so many characters orange hair.
Yeah,
like,
or fucking green.
There's a lot of anime that have, like, only realistic hair colors, and, like, in Japan, that's just brown and black, but you can tell who the characters are. You can tell the characters are apart.
Yeah.
But in this show, they could have any hair color. Because, like, there's pink hair, there's blue hair, and it seems to just be normal to have hair colors like that. So why do all the characters have orange hair?
Yeah, it's fucking weird. Especially early on, it was hard to tell some of the relationships
Why not give someone
apart.
black hair, white hair, purple hair? Like, why all the same color orange
I remember
or
a
green?
few scenes where I found myself thinking, at first I thought, isn't that the same guy from the...
No,
oh, wait,
I
that's
felt
not
like
the
that
same
a whole
guy,
lot. Like,
you
I was
know?
like, oh, who is this guy?
Yeah.
Like, is this guy? Was
So-
that on purpose? Do they want us to be confused?
I doubt it. There was the couple with...
God.
There was the other, like, big important couple, who becomes increasingly important as the show goes on, is the ones who have accidentally become a comedy duo, because neither of them quite understands that they are, or the girl thinks they're dating, the guy
is,
doesn't.
like, unaware.
Yeah,
like,
and...
he just thinks they're friends.
Yeah, and they've been doing a comedy thing, and so they hook up, but it takes them a long time to finally progress to kissing.
I love this couple.
Yeah?
They're one of my favorite couples.
I like them. I like their story the most.
Me too.
Like, I don't... Some of their scenes are hilarious. Like, the scene with the mom walking in, funniest scene of the show. As it went on...
I like the scene where he pretended he was drunk. To, like,
I thought he
get there.
was drunk.
I don't know.
They never made
Who
that
knows?
clear. Yeah.
He saw something in the fridge, so maybe he
I
was
think he
drunk.
did drink.
But I thought that was, like, a really awesome and fun, like, an unexpected scene.
That was the best, like, hard-hitting... Like, because this show has some, like, has drama moments occasionally. Like, it'll really explore the romance. They're the only couple that has, like, a major breakup, and for a great reason. Like, it wasn't based on a misunderstanding or anything. It was that the guy fucked up.
Yeah.
And you don't get that all the time in these rom-coms. He fucked up in a really realistic way.
It felt super realistic.
Yeah.
I thought I was, like, watching, high school.
These two wouldn't kiss. I was getting annoyed with them in the middle part of the show where it was just really hammering on about, like, are they gonna kiss?
Yeah.
When are they gonna kiss? When are they gonna kiss? But I do like that they were looking up to the other relationship. That was funny.
Yeah.
And then, finally... the guy gets drunk, like he sees beer in the fridge.
Yeah, he like invites over his girlfriend because he wants to kiss, because she has made it clear that they want to kiss.
Right.
And they've had several scenes where they've tried to kiss and it's just been awkward. Yeah. And he's running out of time. She has to go home soon, so he's like, I'm gonna go get some drinks, and he sees like something in the fridge. We don't see what it is.
Because they can't show underage drinking on TV.
He comes
that's
upstairs
why.
with a Red Bull. And he's like all red faced and he just kisses her.
He's clearly drunk and he forces the kiss even though she's saying like I don't want it like this. She's like I don't want it to be like this. I want to kiss the normal you.
Drinking on TV in Japan?
Not in like certain time slots, I don't think. Like that's why sometimes characters are like aged up for the anime so that they won't be underage drinking.
That's interesting because like I just remember watching Degrassi when I'm little and like all the characters in Degrassi, like, they fuck, they get drunk, some of them get pregnant. And
in American shows,
kids.
Every, like, fucking middle schoolers are fucking and drinking.
I never thought that there'd be, like, rules, I guess, for
I don't know
drinking.
if there's rules so much as, like, people will complain. Like, the PTA might complain or something. They just kind of avoid it. I don't know if it's, like, legal.
I don't know. I feel like this show, though, is aimed at, like, an older audience, because they do talk about sex. They do like.
I would say it's aimed at like anyone from high school through like their 20s, but like it's just better than most shows aimed at that age group. I mean, I would say most anime is aimed at like middle schoolers, and this is aimed more at high schoolers, probably. Okay. You know, but yeah, that couple, the fact that because as that scene was going on, I was I was kind of in his boat of like, yeah, just get drunk and make it easy on yourself, like.
Of course you would.
Yeah, and how did you feel about that scene?
I was like, yeah, I drank that beer.
Yeah, exactly. Like my feeling was, oh, like, this is a great idea, because, like, the problem, like, this is what I do. If I'm like afraid to do something, like if I'm too
that's
nervous,
why beer exists. That's
yeah,
why people
I have a couple
beer
drinks, but
to,
like she was not about it, and like fucking broke up with him over it. And I was like, wow, that okay, that makes sense. And then of course they get back together, and it's a big dramatic thing at the end. Then you've got
they're really cute together. They're like Jesse and James from Pokemon. Whenever I saw them together, I would just think of that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
A couple who I had no interest in, but did have an interest in their last story. The ugly guy and the cutie girl. So this relationship is just that there's this really ugly, nerdy dude. He saves this girl from getting molested on the bus. And their relationship is just that she clearly likes him and he doesn't get it.
It's like My Love Story.
But
you ever watched that?
Oh yeah. What's the Japanese title? Ore Monogatari.
Yeah.
I guess like the very beginning of Ore Monogatari.
Well, I mean, the fun thing about them is the best friend character.
Yeah.
Like, that's similar in both stories. Like, the girl is really cute and shy, and the guy is just like, well, I'm never gonna have girls who are into me. I'm more into my bros.
I mean, they hook up in like episode 3 of that show.
I love that show.
Yeah. Oh, you do? I've
like
only
that
seen
show.
like the
It's
first
pretty,
4 episodes or so.
You gave it an 8 on Mal, I think.
The two don't understand. Like, the girl is too shy to fully
she's not gonna just
progress the relationship. The guy is too ugly, and like I was totally bored with their dynamics. I've seen it before. Neither one of them had that much personality.
But the friend.
But then they introduced his friend, the guy's best friend, who's like the classic like, I don't need like basically MGTOW.
Yeah.
Like, but like what MGTOW really is, which is guys who are convincing themselves they don't need women to deal with the mental anguish of not having women.
It's like empowerment.
Yeah. Which is entirely what that is. Anytime a guy is like, I don't need a woman, it's because he can't get the woman he wants. Like, if he had the right woman, he wouldn't be saying that.
Oh yeah, if he had a girlfriend, he'd probably fucking be like, oh, I don't care about my friends anymore. And which happens to everybody.
But he turns out he's also the best wingman in the world.
He's great.
Super nice guy, and he helps them try to move along. And that scene's hilarious. My favorite character in the whole show, the Prince of Romance, or whatever it's called.
Oh my god, yeah. Senpai.
This random blonde guy who just shows up and gives, first of all, he can capture any woman's heart, and second of all, he can give romantic advice. And, like, the joke is that he acts like a walking cliche of, like, the Prince character, and he's, like, way over the top, but he's also totally effective, and nothing can like, hurt him. Like, no matter what you do to him, no matter how dumb you make him look, he turns it around and makes it cool. Almost like Sakamoto.
Of love.
Yeah, but like Sakamoto if he was the opposite personality.
Yeah.
Of like way over the top, constantly calling women like my kitten and stuff.
He was great. I'm glad that they didn't give him like a romance.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's a girl who likes him,
There's a girl who's in love with him, but he's more focused on.
Well, I honestly felt like she was reaching, like, because his thing, he's got like a super high power level, and the first time this girl falls in love with him, like, he's too high level for her. She can't keep up. But then the second time, as she grows more in love with him, she starts being able to use some of his abilities, some of his super abilities.
Into a jaguar.
Exactly, and I'm thinking that eventually she might be powerful enough.
Oh, I think
tame
so too.
The beast,
he's not ready right now.
No, because he has to kill God. He has to kill the god of romance so that he can stop being so popular. He wants to be less popular so that he can have love.
Yeah.
Because he can't constantly be destroying women's hearts if he's gonna fucking be a one-woman man, you know?
When was the first time he was introduced? Like, what was scene?
He was helping out the girl.
I can't remember which girl.
I think it was the girl who, with the texting. I think it was the misunderstandings girl.
I think so too.
I think he talked to her first. It might be her or someone else, but yeah, he gives advice to other characters in the story.
The girl who's like madly in love with him is like the cutest girl on the show.
Yeah,
with
she's
the
pretty
curly
adorable.
hair. I love her.
Have we covered everybody? Is there anybody left? Any relationships we didn't comment on? I think we got everybody. That's the kind of show this is, that like I have an opinion on every, because it's really like 10 different shows that kind of interact with each other.
We did talk about Pigtails Girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah, we talked about her.
Downer girl. I think that's everybody. And we've been talking about the show for 30 minutes. This could have been its own finish or fail episode.
Yeah. It's
so
gonna be like a mega long
I hope you guys
episode.
enjoy the extra length. We skipped a few days. Like this episode's a little later because I just decided to go right to the weekly release. So here you go. You're getting your weekly release. I hope this is enough to tide you over for a whole week. But Story Story Children's a good show. Obviously, we have some issues with some couples we don't like as much as others. Some scenes aren't as funny as others. The production values are not all there. There's a soundtrack by Tenmon, the guy who does all the early Makoto Shinkai films. Got a video about Makoto Shinkai coming up on the main channel. It's 80 minutes long, for anybody who doesn't know that.
Poor DeVille.
Yeah. Well, he's excited.
Yeah,
so.
I bet he is.
Miguel out?
Miguel out.